Van life as a vehicle for slow living. How backroads, spacious days, and an abandoned New Mexico mine taught me the value of having time to wander. Written and read by yours truly, Oakie McDoakie. Screw ups and all. I've always preferred time to money or status. Makes me a bad fit for the U.S. culture and economy. Always has, even when I was successful. Time is ultimately the reason I took to van life, and the reason I live in off grid voluntary simplicity now. I like time to dawdle, time to read and think, time to take long walks, time to sleep late and go to bed early. Now, I also had a specific agenda when I first took to the road, not a broad desire to win back my time. I wanted to visit all the national parks in the lower 48, and I did it too, over about a year and a half. All except one I blew off, Channel Islands National Park, because I didn't want to get anywhere near LA. So, 50 out of 50 went together. I discovered something interesting in that year and a half. I could retire early. I calculated that I could keep traveling around indefinitely, living off small investment earnings, if I camped for free on public land and kept my other expenses low. Most months I lived on less than $1,000. This way, I could live a life that was stinking rich with time. Before long, I found myself inhabiting a territory. New Mexico and parts of neighboring states, migrating with the seasons. South and downhill in winter, north and uphill in summer. When the desert started baking, I climbed into the mountains. When the cold settled in the high country, I drifted back toward the lower elevations of southern New Mexico. And I didn't travel every day. Typically, I'd camp for 3 or 4 days back in some national forest, somewhere solitary, quiet, scenic, and ideally, with a decent cell signal. Then I'd take one short day to move to a new campsite. On camp days, I didn't do much. Think of a lazy Saturday. Wake up when I was ready, dawdle over coffee, the news, and catching up with friends on social media. Take the dog for a walk, come back and make lunch. Maybe write a blog post or catch up on some online games I like to play. Another walk, read a book, watch a movie, dinner. The day consumed slowly and in sips. On moving days, I'd break camp around 9 or 10 a.m. I planned my route to include an errand run, groceries, trash, water, laundry, and maybe lunch at a restaurant. I never drove too far, being truly over long hauls by this point. Just a few hours. I liked arriving at my new camp by 2 or 3 p.m. Besides going through towns for errands, I'd usually choose a back road route, somewhere to drive slowly, enjoy the scenery, and get some nice roads in. Sometimes I might have a specific sightseeing stop along the way, either planned ahead or just something I'd bump into unexpectedly. I always loved bumping into the unexpected. Take this one moving day. It was winter. I was camped in much warmer southern New Mexico near Silver City. After loading up at Walmart, I'd left town and was meandering east toward one of my favorite campsites outside Mimbres. Passing through tiny Hanover, I once again noticed skinny Fierro Road heading north out of town and back into Gila National Forest. I had often wondered what was down that way and decided that today I'd take a few minutes to find out. I was in no hurry after all. Shortly after turning north onto Fierro, humming a little marching tune, I noticed an abandoned mine headframe. That got me wondering what they had mined there. Hanover is the location where the oldest and largest copper mines in North America, the Chino mined. Was this old shaft a used-up copper mine? An exploratory shaft, something else. I knew that where you find copper, you often find other metals. Anywho, I drove north on Fierro Road through an actual tiny mining town of Fierro, the actual tiny mining town of Fierro, and up the narrow valley into the forest. Eventually, the pavement gave way to dirt. Pretty country. I don't remember much of what was up there now, but I remember a creek, thick pines, and the feeling of simply wandering around because I could. After a while, curiosity satisfied, I turned back. Passing the old mine again on my way out, my curiosity got relit. Later, probably at my Mimbres camp, I got online and started digging. Turns out that tiny, old-fashioned abandoned mine is a famous place. Or should be. There wasn't even a roadside historical marker. It was the Empire Number 7 shaft, site of the Empire Zinc strike of 1950. Mostly Mexican American miners were protesting discriminatory wages and housing conditions at the Empire Zinc Company. Anglo miners received better wages, housing, and benefits for no justifiable reason. I'd strike too, damn it. One of the more remarkable twists of the strike, injunctions eventually limited the men's picketing, so the miners' wives took over the picket lines themselves. The strike dragged on for more than a year and eventually ended in compromise. The miners didn't get everything they wanted, but they did win significant improvements, including comparable housing, with bona fide indoor plumbing. The strike later inspired the 1954 film Salt of the Earth, filmed largely in and near Hanover, using many of the actual miners and their families as actors. During the Red Scare, the movie caused a political firestorm. Its creators had been blacklisted over alleged communist ties, theaters were pressured not to show it, and the film was nearly buried. Instead, it survived and eventually became recognized as one of the most important labor films in American history. All that history hiding in plain view beside a skinny little road I'd absentmindedly passed half a dozen times. On road trips before van life, I'd often notice some quirky thing along the way or a sign promising something interesting a few miles down a side road. But I never had time to stop. Vacation time was too limited. I was always stressed and in a hurry. I hated it. If only I had more time, I'd think. With a little good fortune and some good planning, van life finally gave me the time to stop and look, or turn and explore. A spacious life. A life with room to wander and wonder. And on most days, enough time to sleep in until I was damn well ready to get up. If you like this, you can tip me on ko-fi.com/Oakie McDoakie or follow me on Substack and the socials. Just go to oakiemcdoakie.com. Until next time, don't let the bastards wear you down.